and welcome to Live Your Dream TV, the coolest place on the web for entrepreneurs to be inspired, educated, and entertained. My name is Tara Carbo, and I'll be your host today. We are here with a wonderful lady. She can change all of our lives with a few simple changes. I'd like to introduce you to Nancy Parlette. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, Tara.
Yes, and you are our nutrition ninja. Was that right? Did we say that?
We can say that because I do have my black belt.
I love that. So. That's such a cool name. I'm going to remember that. We'll market that, I think. Okay, so you are just totally in love with nutrition. I'd like to dive into, for starters, where did this passion come from?
All right. Well, Tara, way back when, a long time ago, I started having digestive problems. And when I was in college, I really suffered. And after school, I started going to see all your typical doctors, your gastroenterologist, and even went to alternative medicine. Nobody could quite figure me out. So I struggled for many, many years, got to the point even struggling with depression. I wasn't absorbing my nutrients properly, so it was really not a good thing. Right. And finally, I began studying nutrition myself, and it was through nutrition that I was able to totally restore my health, and that got me kind of excited. So I wanted to start telling everybody else, my goodness, you can restore your health. You can feel great changes in your body just by adjusting your lifestyle.
So in order to help us really get a handle on what we need to be eating and what we need to be doing, Nancy has been so kind as to write us a book.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your book.
All right, well, here it is. The Busy Mom's 10-Minute Guide to a Healthy, Happy Family.
Yeah.
It's not just for the busy mom, really. It's for anyone who's struggling with wanting more energy, wanting to feel better, to not be sick all the time or run down. And so I divided into 20 10-minute lessons, which makes it easy for someone, stick it in your purse, have it in your briefcase, in your car, and when you're waiting to pick up a kid from soccer or a doctor's appointment or waiting to go into a meeting, just pull this baby out and you can flip through a chapter real quick and easy. And so that was my goal, was to make it very readable. And at the same time, I really wanted to educate people to help them understand, for example, what is food? I want to challenge them to rethink their definition, because I think we sometimes take for granted that anything we grab in the grocery store is good for us. Not true. Not true.
Just because it fills you up doesn't mean it's actually giving your body what it needs.
Exactly. Exactly. And my concern is, when you look at the health of our nation, there's an epidemic. We have obesity, we have heart disease, we have cancer, on and on we go. And here's the thing, it's not just adults anymore. Now it's kids. Yeah. And so we have, attention deficit disorder with all these hyperactive kids. We have 12-year-olds with clogged arteries. We have teenagers dying on the athletic field.
And it's not just one. That's a ton of those, actually, in the past couple of years.
And depression, suicide, juvenile delinquency. There's more and more problems that are getting younger and younger. And I just said, this is crazy. We're spending billions of dollars every year on research, on healthcare, and the answer is, frankly, right under our noses. And it's just simple lifestyle and dietary changes that can restore our health. And so I really wanted to help other people know.
Also in your book is, some recipes for us to use. And you talk a lot about, I believe, you talk about the rainbow?
I do talk about the rainbow, and I'm not talking Skittles here. I'm talking about eating the rainbow of colors.
It smells
fruits
so good.
And vegetables. Let you have strawberries. But seriously, when we look at the different colors, it's not just, aren't they pretty? Each color has different nutrients in it, different phytochemicals they're called, and they're full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and what they are, they're like an armor. If you think about, for example, you would never let one of your kids go out in a snowstorm without a hat, scarf, coat, gloves, and boots. They wouldn't last 5 minutes. They'd be freezing. Come in, Mom! Right? Well, when we go out into the world without our food armor, we're just asking for disease. We're asking for sickness. And we need to put this. But how many people eat fruits and vegetables? I'd like to ask people, how many fruits and vegetables have you had today?
Good question.
Most of us skip those. We're in a hurry. We'll guzzle the cup of coffee and have a stimulant and feel great for about 2 hours, and then we crash, and then we need something else again.
Right.
Well, and the same thing happens with our kids. We look at all the problems with the hyperactivity. You take a kid to a birthday party, if any of you parents out there have little ones, when you come to pick them up, oh my goodness, they're bouncing off the walls, they're hyper, they're irritable, right? You're ready to strangle them sometimes. And why is that? It's from all the sugar, from all the junk, from all the food colorings and the additives. I mean, what amazes me is the research that's been done that people just don't know about. I mean, they have done research, for example, with food coloring and different preservatives.
This is a good story. Listen to this.
And they worked with kids and parents, and unknown to the parents, they took out they had the kids go without eating any of these, chemical colors and preservatives for several weeks, and then somewhere in there they stuck them back in again, and the parents didn't know when it was, but I tell you what, they knew immediately because of the kids' behavior change that they said, aha, what's going on? My kids are all hyper again. They had improved so much without them in there that as soon as it was added in, they could really see a difference. And research in the high schools has been done with kids, again, just by changing their diet and adding more nutrition, the kids' behavior totally changes.
Yeah.
There's a detention center here in Maryland, and they went in and they began adjusting the diet of the kids there. They'd always, have trouble with the kids fighting, with just all kinds of bad attitude. And when they changed to whole foods with whole grains, lots of fruits and vegetables, they took out the sugar, they took out the soda, and all of that. And they were amazed over a month period that they could actually measure the change in the behavior of these kids. There was much less fighting, much better attitudes.
Wow.
It really is
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. This is, again, another reason why I wrote the book. I wanted to talk about, how just simple changes like that, by eating the healthier foods, our kids' IQs go up, their behavior improves, they can focus better at school.
So true.
And of course, it's not just the kids, it's us too. When we're on the job, we feel better, and we can do and be more productive at work, and not so grumpy when we get home, and all of that good stuff. So it's information that applies to everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to read this. It sounds like a very easy guide, very practical, quick little educational spurts that I think is going to be fantastic. Also some recipes and things like that. But I also would love to hear a little bit about what you put in the book regarding sleep.
I did talk about sleep. There's a whole section on sleep because, unfortunately, most of us don't get enough sleep.
Yeah.
And I talk about how much we need and just simple ways, too, that we can help our kids and ourselves to adjust and adapt so that we can begin getting used to having more sleep.
Yeah.
Because it really does affect our behavior. It affects not only, our attitude, because we're going to be grumpy when we're not asleep, but our immune system, goes down the drain when we're not getting enough sleep. We cannot burn fat either. I mean, it's amazing the impact that it has on our blood sugar and even our diabetes. When they did research with giving college students sleep deprivation, they found just over several days they started becoming pre-diabetic. I mean, they they had insulin resistance just in those few days, and so and the thing is they craved carbohydrates, so they just started picking out. Well, there you go. That's a lot of the people here in America. Is they're exhausted, but they think they're hungry because they want that stimulation to keep going.
That is amazing. Yeah. As for our audience, who is primarily entrepreneurial, what kind of advice could you give them, whether it's nutrition, whether it's business related? What 2 cents do you have to offer them to make life easier for them?
Eat your breakfast.
Okay.
Eat your breakfast. Get yourself going in the morning. I mean, it's not only going to help you have more energy and think more clearly, it also helps people lose weight, believe it or not. If you have a weight problem and you want to lose weight, it's just boosting your metabolism first thing in the morning. And of course, you got to learn my green smoothie recipes, because one of the best ways, it's not just kids who don't want to eat their vegetables, Tara.
I happen to know that.
A lot of y'all out there don't want your vegetables either. And so you can make a green smoothie, and believe it or not, you can throw in some handfuls of spinach with some fruit and water in a blender, some greens, collard greens, kale, stuff you would never put on your plate to actually eat. And you blend that baby up. You don't even taste it.
Really?
And so you get all these minerals, because greens are really important for our minerals, and that has a huge impact.
I am going to put that to the test.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll have to use some of my recipes.
Yes,
Check it out.
I will. Okay, Nancy. Why don't you tell us what else you do?
All right. Well, besides writing, I also teach classes. I'll do seminars, retreats.
Oh, good.
Anybody out there has a community group, church group, a group of ladies, anybody who wants to have me come, I'll be glad to give a talk.
Oh, that sounds
fantastic. I'll do a book signing for you.
Yes.
Whatever you all would like. That's how and I have a free email newsletter people can sign up for.
Okay. How do people do that?
And they can go to my website, which is www.nancyparlette.com.
Okay, and we'll post that up for you guys.
and sign up right there. There's a link, and
excellent.
lots of information there too.
That sounds good, to just get a constant flow like that.
Well, that's it. Everybody needs to be motivated and reminded.
Yes, exactly. Okay, Nancy, I'd like for you to help us wrap up with the question of the day.
All right. Well, I want to know if the audience knows what the most important nutrient is for us. Now, I'm not talking oxygen. Obviously, we have to breathe. That's really key. But as far as things we put into our body, what is the most important nutrient?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think about what I think it is. Guys, you know what to do. Down here at the bottom, please post a comment. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll see who actually knows that one. I wonder how many people do. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you writing the book and doing these things for everyone, and not just keeping all the info to yourself. That's very kind of you. Guys, thank you for watching. Our passion truly is your passion, and our goal is to go out there together as a community and help empower one more person to live their dream. Thank you for watching.